What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I came out here into the garage to put some more work on the JDM EF2. After painting the T-bar a couple of videos ago, I think, I'm super motivated to get the engine bay all prepped and ready to rock and roll. So we came out here today with the intentions of prepping underneath the hood and laying down some base coat and clear coat. I stayed up all night till like 6:30 this morning watching Paint Society, trying to find videos on how to go about prepping a panel to paint the same color. So I came across a couple of his videos, and one video he was doing a door where he was actually painting it the same color. It just has some imperfection right in the center of the door, and it didn't need base coat, but he wanted to add base coat anyway. So he ended up sanding the door with like 400 grit in the area that he was going to repair, right? Sanding down, dulling out that clear coat. And then he hit the rest of the door with 600. And once the whole entire door was dulled out, he went over with a, I believe it was gray Scotch-Brite, and sanded off all the edges. There's a lot of things that I learned about painting edges, sanding edges. And he literally prepped the entire door with just 400 and 600 grit. And then he put some base coat where the repaired area in the center of the door was. And then he clear coat the entire thing. And then obviously he blends it and all that. But seems pretty straightforward. I'm not trying to do like a crazy professional work on the underneath of the hood. I'm just going to clean the hell out of it, tape off all the Japanese label, sand it down based off what I have, either 400 or 600, and then I'm just gonna put base coat right on top of the original color that's on the hood. I'm not gonna run any primer. I'm not gonna try to sand down to the primer, just so that we have a dark underneath coat already, so we don't use too much of paint from my 1 quart that I bought, because I need majority of that paint to be for the engine bay to do a good amount of layer on that. So the goal is to make it nice and shiny. I don't care if it's like the most perfect job at all. I just wanna make it nice and shiny and uniform for the most part. That is our goal. Now, I did come out here and I lost track of time. I bought a kit from Amazon. It's a quick disconnect kit, and they didn't have the attachment for a regular camera like the Canon or, you know, the A series or DSLRs. If you guys know, these cameras have like a screw style that goes into the camera and not like any clevis like this, right? So I spent a little time to make this out of metal, out of scrap material. Found a thread pitch bolt to the camera, cut that, and then I welded it onto it to be able to screw it into the camera. And now I'm able to run this attachment on my Canon G7X for higher quality videos. Now this quick disconnect is very convenient for me because I'm able to switch the camera between the GorillaPod, the handheld, and the tripod. So it just literally goes on, you turn it, it clicks, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, doesn't come apart. And then if you want to remove it to switch it over to a different standing unit, twist, pop it off, there you go. GoPro is on the same disconnect, so I spent a little bit of time doing that today. Outside is still super duper windy, cold, sprinkling, cloudy skies, but we're still gonna put in the work. It is currently 3:30 right now because I lost time doing this, but we're gonna get cracking anyway, so let's get to it. All right, guys, so one thing about me that I'm not afraid to admit is that I am stubborn. Got it from my father. I'm not stubborn all the time. It's only when I'm like fighting my ideas in the head. So I spent a lot of time sanding this hood down because there was a lot more stuff caked up underneath the hood than I had thought. After I cleaned it, I realized, damn, it's gonna take a little bit more elbow grease to get the hood nice and smooth. So right now, it is 7 o'clock and I spent like 2 hours sanding this freaking hood, but it's ready to go and I'm okay with how it is currently. So the stubbornness is, I told myself, because I spent so much time sanding the hood, I told myself to paint tomorrow. Paint tomorrow, more daylight. If the weather's better, I don't know, but I checked the weather just now and it's just as bad tomorrow as it is right now. So what difference if I paint it tomorrow versus right now? Another thing about me too is that I'm a doer, right? So even if I close the garage and I'm still gonna be hanging out in the garage for another 2-3 hours, I may as well just utilize that time out here since I'm already, you know, doing this whole hood preparation thing. So I decided I'm just gonna paint right now, and I took the hood, stuffed it on top of the JDM EF2 itself, bagged off the sides so that way I don't get overspray on the car cover. I tarped off this end right here, and I tarped off this end right here. I barely feel any wind coming this way other than my feet because it's open down there and I'm wearing shorts. Now the reason why I moved it over here is because this is exposed to all of that and the leaves are blowing in. While I was sanding, I was getting leaves on it. You guys probably saw I was using a little blower. On top of that, the rain is hitting the windshield, it's bouncing off, it's coming over here. I don't want to have to like try to tarp the freaking car because one is wet, but also overspray going that way. I mean, I'm not worried about the overspray at all, but I just wanted to kind of fight the wind a little bit and also, you know, cut the time down of, you know, bagging up my silver sedan. So I brought it over here and it's just about ready to rock and roll. I taped off all the labels, the nozzles. I've got to take off the nozzles, but just taped it up, bagged up the car cover again, just to make sure I don't get overspray on the car cover because clear coat becomes sticky. And I already wiped it down like 2 or 3 times. Paint Society said to, you know, clean as you go, so you can prevent fisheye and stuff. I might get fisheye, which I'm not worried about because there are still some areas I couldn't get my fingers into, but I tried my best. And you guys probably saw I was using a Scotch-Brite with the solvent to kind of clean as I'm sanding the final, you know, sand. And I'm just about ready to rock and roll. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some paint, and I'm actually going to find some clean bolts, and I'm gonna bolt them into these holes right here, right? This is for the grill, and just have some paint match bolts. I think I'm gonna use some Wrestle Tuner stuff, but just to have some paint match bolts. You guys probably saw in the previous video when I painted the T-bar. Show you guys real quick. I threw some bolts on here just to 1, not cake up the hole, and 2, just have some paint match bolts. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts right there, so, or 6 right here. So I'm gonna find some clean bolts, mix up some paint, and probably throw you guys on the laps because I'm just trying to get things done. So this is about 3 coats just to finish off the cup. Pretty solid for the most part. Definitely got coverage everywhere. So guys, the hood has been drying for about 20 minutes now, and I've already peeled off the tape off the edges so that it doesn't dry together. And dude, it is looking super freaking wet. So really quickly, the first coat, I did a very light coat just to tack it on the hood. Let that dry for about 10 minutes. And I checked the paper to make sure it was sticky, right? And then I went back with a second layer, medium coat, just to make the entire surface like glossy without any of the dry spot. And then I let that flash for about 20 and got that all nice and tacked up as well. Went back with a third coat, and I went on super heavy with the third coat. And dude, it looks freaking amazing. Now I'm using the heater in between the coats to kind of help keep this from being cold and also kind of help flash the clear coat, right? And it's doing its job. It's working really well. And the third coat laid out really smooth now after 20 minutes, and I'm super stoked about it. Now I am painting outside obviously, and there's going to be a lot of little dirt particles and stuff, and that's kind of given with me painting here in the driveway. It's never going to be a super duper clear professional lay down with the base coat and clear coat, but nonetheless I'm super stoked about it. And dude, this thing is wet. It is wet. Just about 3 coats, and this thing laid out really nice. Oh my goodness. Now the camera doesn't do it justice, and all those little specks on the paint doesn't make it look super clean as I'm explaining and describing it, but take my words for it, guys. This thing laid out freaking wet. The clear coat like solidified, and it's like very minimal with the orange peel. You can tell by looking at the lamp right there. Now this is gonna shrink. It's gonna look a little different when it's like fully dry, but the biggest thing is making sure that this does not dry out like in the element, because it's going to create condensation. Granted, it's cold, so I'm gonna let this tack up as much as possible to where I can stand it upright and it doesn't like drip, and then I'm gonna move it into the garage to let it dry the rest of the night. But dude, oh my goodness, just look at it. Look at it. I've always had problems with drips and runs spraying at night, trying to rush everything, and this is probably one of my better outside paint job. Now if I am painting a car, I'm gonna fight the stubborn and temptation of doing this at night. I'd wait for a warmer day or more of a daylight than to spray it at night if it was a car. Under the hood, I'm not sweating it, and at the end of the day, it came out freaking awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up all my stuff right now and let that kind of dry out as much as I can before we close up. What paint booth? So we have the hood moved onto the t-shirt table, sitting upright upside down, because I didn't really have a way to maneuver this to sit upright on the floor. I was going to use some cardboard to protect the corners, but I was able to maneuver onto the table, holding it like a pizza. And it's just going to sit right here until it dries tomorrow. It's already dry to the touch for the most part, right? But not dry enough where if I hold it, it'll leave a fingerprint. So this thing's gonna dry right here, and this thing should be ready to rock and roll tomorrow. But dude, now sitting under this light, this paint came out freaking awesome, dude. The paint solidified really nicely. It's really flat, except all the little particles as mentioned. It's flat, dude. It is flat, and it has that same effect. Like, it is dark colored when it doesn't have a lot of light on it, and then when it's under the light, it shows green. My buddy still thinks it's blue. At first I thought it was blue when I did the base coat, but after the clear coat, it's definitely green. So where's the gas cap at? Show both of them under the light here. So obviously new paint versus old paint, and this thing is obviously a little darker, right? But like I said, when it's the outside of the car, it's this color. When you pop the hood, it's going to be dark like that. And the only time you're really going to see this fresh color is when it's under light. So I'm happy nonetheless. It's shiny under the hood. And when we do the engine bay, it's going to be shiny under the engine bay. So nothing about this car is going to be dull, except The gas cap area, I actually thought about this when I was at the paint shop. I was like, should I paint it too? Maybe not. Anyways, so the hood's just gonna sit right here. I'm super stoked that we pushed through to do this tonight because I already had everything out. I already had all the tools and everything, and I didn't want to clean everything up, but then come back out and pull everything out to do it again. And also, you know, me, my inconsistency of being here in the garage, I might end up just coming out here tomorrow late too. I don't know, but I'm glad we pushed through and got it done and knocked out of the way, so that way we can utilize the days moving forward to do other things. The next thing after now painting underneath the hood is the engine bay, which is going to be the time-consuming part because a lot of nooks and crannies, a lot of curves, more surface area to sand. So I think I'm going to keep it the same orientation with the T-bar underneath the hood on time-lapse and just get right to work. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm very happy. Got a lot of paint left. I think I have half quart. When I mix it 1-to-1 ratio, I have a full quart plus the can, which will be more than enough to paint the engine bay. Because normally when I paint a bay, I only buy 1 pint. And then I mix the 1 pint, I'll have 2 if that's a quart. I think is a quart. But we have plenty of paint to do the engine bay next. I think that's what's on the list, unless something else comes along. Nonetheless, we are making progress on the JDM Dream build, and I'm stoked because once everything's all said and done, the Type R goes in, the trans, everything that pertains to the JDM F2 goes into the car. We got more space in the garage, more space for activities. I don't want to think ahead. But anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up for this video right here. The only thing I ate today was cereal, water, and a shrimp ball. My stomach is growling. I'm going to wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed the quick paint work on the JDM EF2 under hood. If you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for more progress on the JDM EF2, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.